Hey everybody, today I'm here with eXp Regional Director Frank Venuto. Frank,
Hey,
thanks for coming out
thanks
today,
for having
man.
me, man. It's great to be in Indiana. I've never been here, so this is fun to travel and get to spend time with you.
It's amazing to have you here in person,
Thank
and
you.
what a pleasure. So thank you. I wanted to dive in, man. So many things that happen in this brokerage that we're with, and I want to just dive in and see what it means to you, how it breaks down the model itself. Back when I started, I was in 2018. And the story, I was with a team at that time. So I was kind of forced to take that plunge into eXp. And although reluctant, fast forward 5 years, it's made such an impact on my life, my family's life, and my team. I got to go and do my own thing now. So many amazing things. So it's been one of those where I didn't see that vision at the beginning. And I wanted to share that with other people too, because it's such a different culture here. From your perspective, what do you see with the culture and how it underlies within that?
So, good question. Um, I've been in this since 1994, so it's been a little bit longer. And the real estate business has changed so much in the last 29 years. Back when I started, we had all the information. So if somebody wanted to know how much a house costs, we're seeing this beautiful model home today. Everybody knows how much it costs. Where back when I started, we had everything. If you want to know how much it costs, how much the houses in the neighborhood sold for, how do I get in to see a house? Everything was coming through the realtor. So now I think that the industry's really changed. Where it's such a service oriented industry now, where the people out there have the information. They have a lot of it.
Yep.
But now it's how can we help them?
Yep.
So to get back to your original question, though, is how does that affect the agents? And from our perspective on agents, being that the business has changed so much, then the way that we conduct our business has also changed.
It has.
So what we have to provide for an agent to be successful has changed. And I can tell you that you'll hear the word agent centric so much out there with all the other companies. I have never seen anything like this. And I say that because I'm in meetings with our founder on a weekly basis. And every time we talk about something on a Monday, he always says, well, how does that benefit the agent? Number one question he asks.
Awesome.
And it's important to know because he was a real estate agent. He was a very successful one.
Sure.
So he took models from other companies that he saw, took out all the bad stuff, and took all the good stuff and enhanced them to make sure that the agents have the best opportunity to be successful. So from my perspective, being able to really listen to you and listen to the agents across the country and across the world, because we're in 24 countries, to hear what their needs are and to be able to adjust it out on the fly is pretty awesome.
Really cool. We talk about our virtual platform.
Yeah.
So different than a traditional brokerage, right? It probably took a lot of people a lot of time to wrap their head around what does this virtual platform mean? I know it means a little bit something different from my perspective. Broker owner, I'm running residential real estate. We'll talk a little bit more at what we offer as far as all those packages, but that virtual platform, how does it affect the corporate world?
Yeah, well, it's so getting back to what I was just talking about, I think that traditional model is going to be like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can, we're talking about level of service and being in the service industry. I don't know how under a traditional model you can maintain that. Being virtual means we're 24/7. Means we have access to everything. We live in a microwave society, man. Everybody wants answers right now. They want a response right now. Our platform allows that to happen across the world.
Yep.
So if somebody needs training, they need coaching, they need an answer. Talk about brokers, right? So one of the big misconceptions out there is that everything is virtual and we're not human beings, right? So for everybody to understand that we have live brokers in every single state across the country. So they have one job and one focus, and that's to focus on the broker issues.
Yep.
So if an agent has a broker issue, they can go onto our virtual platform and get with a broker within minutes and get their problem solved or their question answered within minutes, as opposed to maybe a traditional model where the broker in the office may also be in charge of training, may also be in charge of recruiting, may also be in charge of changing the light bulbs. You don't know what they're going to be in charge of. And maybe they're out, right? So they may not be in the office for a few hours. Now you can't get your answer that you need. So,
And we're moving fast that we need that answer.
hey, especially in this environment that we're in today,
Yeah.
right? With multiple offers and houses not staying on the market so long, and we need to move at light speed anymore. And if we don't, then if we're not providing the answers and the service to our clients at light speed, I feel like they move on to the next person, because everybody wants, they're nervous. So, from my perspective, having the virtual platform and having the access and the availability to everything that you need to be successful is a major part of the recipe of what makes us who we are. And I love that part of it.
Well, and it goes case in point for where we're at today. I'm in Indiana, you live in Delaware.
Yeah.
We talk a lot. We do video calls where you run a class, and I learn from you a lot, and we share stories and build each other up. It's amazing, just that off of the computer screen.
Yeah.
Then we have that workplace. It's Facebook for businesses, right? What a great way to connect with people. We've connected there numerous times. I've talked to the president of commercial, James Wong. I've reached out to so many, Sean Murphy, so many great people that I normally wouldn't have connections with. And because this platform is here, it opens up so many doors. Because if I'm interested in whether it's a growth or social media or how to sell more homes, or hey, maybe I want a corporate position to grow my future career, I could reach out to so many other people, right?
Well, there's no question that I speak to more people on a daily basis now than I ever did in a traditional brokerage. I mean, listen, go into any real estate office on a Thursday or Friday in the summertime. There's 3 or 4 people in there.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, you got the admins usually in there, and the manager's usually in there, right?
Right,
Sometimes
right.
the broker, and maybe a couple of agents. But on any given week, how many agents actually come in and out of the office that you actually see?
Yeah.
10, 12, 15 if you're lucky. I don't know. I speak to hundreds of agents on a weekly basis. Hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds. And so the communication and the interaction that I have on this virtual platform, right, is way more than I ever had in a traditional brokerage. I want to get back to something you were talking about earlier, because I think it's interesting, and I want to hear from you.
Sure.
You had to take a chance. And you said you were a little reluctant at first, but something triggers you and something pushed you to do it. What was that thing?
What was the biggest thing? I was on a team.
Yeah.
Back then. This was 2018.
Right.
All right. And I was getting my groove. Real estate was happening. Things were going. Team was going great. And then, hey, we're going to join eXp. And I'm like, oh, hold on.
But wait, let's remind everybody where you were at that time, because you weren't in Indiana.
I wasn't. I was in Tennessee at the time. So that's where I started my real estate, with a different brand, went that direction, and great brand, never knocking anybody. It just wasn't for me. It didn't give me what I needed.
Yeah.
And maybe I didn't know what I needed. And that's also, why we like doing these videos too, to help people kind of explore their options too.
Sure.
I didn't know. And sometimes when you're young, you don't know what you don't know, right? That was me. So here we fast forward 2018. Hey, we're going to go to eXp. All right, cool. What changed it was eXpCon, our convention. Went down to New Orleans that year. The whole team went, but what I did, I started talking to different people, regional directors. I started talking to the owner. I talked to Jason Gessing, Glenn Sanford, Brent Gove was there. All these amazing people that saw this vision, shared the vision. And so I started asking questions. I'm a curious George, I want to know, hey, what's up, man? I got to buy in. Fast forward 1 year later at 2019, Las Vegas, eXpCon. I'm wearing blue suit, orange shirt. I was wearing the eXp colors, man. I was in, So it was stuff like that. Being there at that convention really solidified it because I felt the energy. I believed the stories. I believed everything that the company was putting in, and it holds true to today. And that was awesome. I get goosebumps thinking about it, because every time I go to more events in person, or even in our eXp world events there, I feel the energy and I believe in the vision that our leaders have. It is so moving. They're very progressive in their thinking, and that is what I really love, because I think that's huge for my business.
So that's important. You hit a point there, because you're saying from a corporate perspective, what does it mean? it allows us to change
Yep.
on the fly. And the important thing too is in this world of real estate, growth is a big deal, meaning you need to be able to grow your business. And in a traditional real estate structure, most people live within their four walls of their office.
Right.
That's kind of their geographic center of their world. And everything they do is wraps right around there. Where here, one of the things I like about the virtual, you're talking about the virtual world, and
Yep.
we don't live with walls in our company. And it's a concept that you kind of hit on it. It's a concept that's you kind of have to wrap your head around. But when it clicks and you realize what that means for your business and production, it's mind blowing. All right. So let's take you, for example, right now. You're in Indiana, but you're not just marketing about Indiana, right? Because you can now service the entire country. And that's a big deal.
The world, for that matter.
The world,
It's
internationally,
amazing.
because you're talking to people on a weekly basis in other countries and here.
Yep.
So when you think about, how many times I talk to somebody, oh, you're in it, God, I'm moving to Las Vegas. I mean, if you were there, I'd use you, Jay. I would swear I would use you, Jason. And you can say, well, you can.
Yep.
I can help you with that. So being able to have that kind of reach and your whole marketing platform and your whole branding. And by the way, it's your brand, it's just on our platform.
Yep.
It's your brand.
I
To
love
keep
that.
that you've built and to be able to take that now to a national and international platform. What does that mean for your business?
Yep.
Bigger vision, bigger actions.
Absolutely. And bigger rewards,
Yeah.
if that's what you like too. So, it just looks differently.
Yeah.
People may be used to just that traditional team of, hey, I've got, 4 or 5 members locally. Cool. But what if you could help people in Las Vegas or Texas or Spain or Brazil or wherever?
Yeah.
And you can make those connections. That's the power of the virtual platform.
Yeah. That's a good segue. So why don't we get into some training and support? So Jason, we were just talking about training and support. Let's get into that a little bit. But one of the things we touched upon before was, about brokers, right? So we have a live broker in every state. In some states, depending on the size of it, will have multiple brokers. All they do is concentrate on broker issues. So it's phenomenal to have that's their main objective, and that the agents have full access to that. Matter of fact, the brokers have weekly meetings in this thing that we call an eXp world, which is kind of our universe. So why don't you talk about that? Talk about your experience with the world.
Man, I love the whole concept. Blew me away at the beginning. Because it was like, hey, I could get answers quick, and it's not only just about real estate, it's technology driven, so many different things. If my computer goes astray or my email's not syncing or something, I could go and have that support, and it's quick. We have, when new agents or any agents coming on, we have that onboarding, we have tours through that eXp world to walk them through. So we have a concierge right at the front, and they say, they see your name over your head. Hey, Jason, how can I help you today? Or hey, Frank, what's going on? How can I help you? And they steer you in the right direction just in case you get lost. But what it meant was one of the biggest things was the classrooms.
Yeah.
The way that we have these set up, because it's not, again, I'm here in Indiana, right? You're in Delaware. It's just not focused on Indiana. It's top producers, people who are selling a lot of homes with a lot of volume that are teaching these classes, right? So for me to level up my game, I want to learn from them.
Yeah, so let's not gloss over that. That's a big deal. So when people talk about what kind of training that you have, right? And then when they're a little bit nervous about the virtual thing, this is why it's so great.
Yeah.
So we have 80 plus trainings live every single week. So, and it's everything A to Z. It doesn't matter if you're a brand new agent. It doesn't matter if you're the top producer. So I always ask people now, when they're in their traditional brokerage, okay, if you're the number one agent, Jason, who's your peer group?
Right.
Who do you lean on? How do you get to the next level?
Yeah.
What generally happens with the top producer is people kind of in the middle or trying to maybe suck some time out of them to try, hey, how do you do it? And then, of course, if you're a brand new agent, you're afraid to ask anybody anything, right? Because you don't want to bother anybody. So to know that we have everything A to Z, If you need to learn about how to build a business,
Social media,
business planning,
luxury, all that.
lead gen,
Yes.
luxury, branding, whatever it is, we have it live. And like you said, it's being taught by the top people in our company. So our top producers get to go to a whole nother level. Yep. And then when you talk about eXp University, we have all these recordings. So it really, we have anything that you need. If there's a tool that you need, that you're lacking. Like, I'm a little bit of an older guy. I'm not great with technology. So I'm in the university a lot to learn about how to use certain things, right? And it's idiot proof, which is great for me. Having that though at my fingertips is great. Can you think about it? What happens if the person that does the training isn't available?
Yeah.
What happens if you don't have somebody to lean on? Your whole business stalls. It stalls out and you have to wait until something comes available to you. Where here, it's at your fingertips.
Yes. And in real estate, if you stall, you've lost that deal.
Yeah, you're out.
Right. Yeah. So, and I'll tell you this is another key part to all these classrooms being led by top producers: leverage.
Yeah.
For me, being a team leader, I could have my team plug into these meetings as well. What does that do for me? It gives me the opportunity to focus on more, whether it's production, whether it's, hey, they have an issue here, they need a little bit more hand holding or just some more help in general. That's okay. I could focus on them more while the rest of the team is getting led by leaders I know and trust.
Yeah, and the other part of that is, we talk about the culture, and we're talking about that a lot in this video.
Yeah.
I have never seen a company, and I've seen them a lot, that the top people are saying, here's my playbook.
Yeah.
Here's how I do it.
Yeah.
This is how I did it. And then to have access to that person in that workplace chat that you talked about, you can then reach out to them anywhere in the country, and you have somebody to talk to that will then share those ideas with you even further. I think the important thing for people to understand is that when we talk about culture in this company, when one person wins, we all win. We're all shareholders. We all own the company.
Yep.
Okay, we all own a piece of this.
Can I stop
That
you
matters.
right there?
Absolutely.
Because people might not grasp that concept.
Yeah.
I sell a home. How does it benefit you, Frank?
Well, the stock's going to go up.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. It's that. And so if we're having massive agents throughout the world selling homes, production is number one of what we focus on, right? That helps us. That, just like you said, that stock goes up. Yay. Now we're all making a couple extra bucks.
Yeah, but that matters, right? So
100%.
We're talking about why, to give you a little background, we're at 88,000 plus agents at this point. We're in 24 plus countries at this point. There's a reason why top teams and brokerages are coming, individual agents. There's a reason why they're coming here. Mm-hmm. It's all about production. And so when you talk about not having those walls that we did before, we were kind of talking about this. This is what we mean. This is the access. This is the sharing that goes on. To own a piece of the company matters. This is not a franchise. First and foremost, this is not a franchise. It is one company, one owner, one message, which is why the culture is what it is. Yeah. So, I came from Delaware to Indiana to see you today because when you win, I win. And if I can help you win in any way, shape, or form, I'm a phone call away. That's how this happened. Yeah. So to be a part of that, for me, is special because I've run offices before. And you want to pour into agents, but sometimes certain models won't let you.
Sure.
You may not have the time. There's a whole lot of variables there, but here, everybody helps everybody. And to be a part of that and to be a part of the people, and these are business people. Yeah. The quality and the level of the conversations that you have with people in this company, is it not mind-blowing?
It's 100% mind-blowing. It's helped me understand so much more because again, if I want to get to that level, I need to talk to those people. Yeah. I need to understand how they work, how they think, how they act, how they help others. So I could grasp my mind frame and say, I need to up my game and follow those suits. So,
well, you talked about eXp Con. Right?
Yeah.
So eXp Cons are a big convention, over 6,000 people. What separates this convention from others is the agents that are up on stage talking about how they win. This is how I do it. This is how I grow. This is how I build my team. This is how we do. We have teams doing over $1 billion in sales, just individual teams doing that. And this is how I did it. They share it with you. So the amount of information that you leave with action items. You leave with stuff to get better and to build your business and to have a better life, right? So that doesn't happen everywhere. That's the thing that people take for granted. That does not happen everywhere. Yeah. So how it happens here and at the level that it happens here is second to none. So it gets back to the whole agent-centric thing. This is what I'm talking about. This is top producers saying, hey, I've already been on a path. Just follow me.
Right.
This is how I did it, and you can do it too.
And that's what we're looking to do. We
Yeah.
want to help others to become better.
Yeah.
And whether it's a managing broker, a team leader, to level them up, to leverage them. Maybe they're even focused on a retirement aspect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother realm that we need to talk about too. But that's doable with the model
Sure.
that we have. And it just, again, has to look at it a little bit differently than that traditional brokerage, right?
Yeah. So I would argue that when it comes to training support, that no one in the industry has what we have. Not at the access and not the amount of information. I don't think anybody has what we have. So I'm very proud of that. You just touched on compensation package. So let's dig into that.
Excellent.
So now we were just talking about compensation package, and we like to term it that way because a lot of times when we're talking to agents, they're like, hey, what's your commission split?
Yep.
Well,
Always.
we like to call it a compensation package because it's so much more than that. When you say commission split, which most traditional brokerages have, there's just one revenue stream. You're the hamster
Right.
on that wheel, and you're a transactional agent. You go from transaction to transaction, and that's the only way you make your money. We have a compensation package. We have multiple revenue streams, but let's start with commission split because people do ask about that. So go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
With our model, it's an easy 80-20 split. So right off the bat, 80% is going to the agent, 20% is going to the brokerage. We talked about how it's an agent-centric brokerage. So 50% of all revenues of the agents actually come back. And we'll dive into that a little bit more too. But that is such a huge number because I don't hear anybody else saying that. That the company's giving back to the agents. So that in itself is cool. So 80-20 split right off the bat. We have a couple small fees. $85 a month for the technology, the training. It includes the CRM. It includes our market or our workplace. It includes so many amazing things. Even there's content that we could have. What am I thinking? SkySlope.
All that training you talked about,
All
right?
the
Our
training.
entire platform has access to all of that.
So much. And we're just hitting the tip of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we could dive into all that stuff,
Yeah.
right? So that's for easy $85 a month. You look at a transaction. Each transaction has a $25 broker review fee. What does that mean, right? So for me, I love it because I'm very fast paced and I'm going to keep working and working hard. Sometimes my transactions may get a little sloppy, but the only person who knows is my managing broker team.
Yeah.
And that's why I pay them $25 per transaction. So they are those actual eyes on the backside to look at my work. And then if I mess up, they email me, only me. And they say, Jason, you did this wrong. Or, hey, I need a copy of this. Cool. Easy fix, right? Love it. Well worth the money too.
Yeah.
Besides that, we pay E&O insurance. We do $40 a transaction, and it caps at $500. So again, if you're producing, and I think that's what, 12, maybe 13 deals, cap at $500.
Right.
So cool. Again, that's where we want to help you get that. If you're maybe a newer agent and saying, I only do 1 or 2 deals, great. Can we help you get to 5? Can we help you get to 10? Can we help you get to 15? What's your vision? How can we help you? And that is huge because that's what's helped me.
Yeah.
I've had other team members, other coaches, other great people in my world say, Jason, how do I help you? Now it's my turn to return that, right?
Yeah.
So how can I help them get to that next stage? And maybe they're selling 20, 30 homes a year. Well, let me backtrack before I go into that conversation because when the 80-20 split, here in Indiana, our average is about $275K per closed transaction, right?
Yeah.
You could cap in 10 transactions. What does that mean? 100%.
So let's talk about the cap for a second. So you would talk about the 80-20 split. And for those who are not used to a cap model, our cap is $16,000. So when that 20%, which is the company dollar, equals $16,000, you will then move to 100%.
Yep.
So, and that's huge. So that's all you're ever going to pay the company. You're going to pay the company $16,000.
That's it.
That's it. And at that point, you're moving on. So you're about to go off onto the 30 transaction thing, which is a lot of good benefits from that too.
Absolutely. So, going 100%, that's a huge thing. Yay, I capped. now it's like a bonus. I just gave myself 20% raise, right?
Yeah.
So cool, it takes off. You do 20 more transactions after you cap. Now you're hitting around that 30 mark. Here in Indiana, again, it's going to be different in other states, by all means, whatever your average is. But 30 makes you an icon agent. And this is where eXp rewards you with $16,000 back in the form of eXp stock. Wow.
Yeah, it's huge. So there's a couple of things I like to ask agents. There's two big questions. This is the first question. The first question I always ask agents are exactly how many houses do you have to sell for your company in order to get the money back that you paid to them?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Right? That answer is generally not happening.
They can't.
So
Yeah. Yep.
Just to be clear on that. So when you go to 100%, there's then a $250 fee per transaction fee per deal. That caps at 5,000. That's that additional 20 units. So once you get to that, you then achieve that icon status. At icon, you then get the $16,000 back that you paid to the company in the form of stock, which is incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I mean, and if you watch the stock market, people are like, oh, it's stock, so they're gonna kind of come in. Yeah, it is stock, and the stock market's going to ride up and down. But what's great is that longevity.
Sure.
You're going to have that. So in the downtime, whether it's a down real estate market or a down stock market or down economy, whatever, you ride it, right? And then from my point of view as a broker owner, when stocks all dipped, not only did eXp go down a little bit, but so did Microsoft, so did Apple, so did Tesla. Yeah. They all went down. Well, cool. Now it was time for me to hustle and sell more homes because now I could earn even more stock shares.
Yeah.
And so when it goes back up, which again, going back to the vision of our leadership, I know it'll eventually go back up. So I never looked at it as a negative. I looked at it as a huge positive to say, I need to start working my tail off so I could earn more stock. And then when it starts doubling, tripling, quadrupling,
yeah,
we've got that nest egg.
Which it just did, which is awesome.
Yes.
So even in a down market, it's important to note that our stock doubled in the last 2 months. We were added to the S&P 500, and we had gone from $11 to, as of yesterday, it was at $24.
Yep.
So it more than doubled in just a couple of months. That's a good thing. Let's talk about, I was kind of saying about the multiple revenue streams.
Yes.
Okay, so the commission is just one avenue, one way to make money here. So you talk about stocks. Okay, so here's another revenue stream for you. There are company awarded stocks, meaning there's stocks that you're going to get, the company's just going to give you just for doing what you do on an everyday basis anyway.
So cool.
So when you join the company, when you do your first transaction every year, the company awards you $200 worth of stock. Phenomenal.
Who's doing that?
Nobody. When you cap, right? When you cap every year, which is about 2.7, 2.8 million on average, somewhere around there, depending on sales price, the company will give you another $400 worth of stock. They're going to give it to you. So there's $600 worth of stock.
Yep.
Now, I've heard it, and I'm sure you've heard it too. I have a lot of people that say, I don't really care about stocks. I don't care about it.
I hear it a lot. Yes.
Yeah, I'm a real estate guy. I was the same way. I don't really understand the stock world. I understand real estate and housing. So it wasn't a big deal for me. But I asked this question. What happens if you're the sole provider in your household and you get sick? Something happens to you and you can't work. Are you going to care about stocks at that time? Yeah, the answer is yes. So if you've now earned $600 worth of stock that they gave you for doing what you do anyway, you become an icon, you got your $16,000 worth of stock now. So that's $16,600 that you have gotten. Now, what happens if you're here for 5 years? Right. It's $90,000.
Wow.
You know, if you're here for 10, it's $180,000.
Yeah.
That they gave you for doing what you're doing anyway. It's like a 401k plan. It's like a retirement plan.
Yeah.
It's an exit strategy that they gave you. You didn't have to pay for that. Yep. So that's a whole nother revenue stream. So now we've got this great 80-20 split with a $16,000 cap. That's one revenue. We've got this awards that the company will give you in stock. There's also an agent equity program. So every time you have a commission, anytime you sell a house, you have the option, you don't have to do it. Yep. You can take 5% of your commission and buy stock at a 10% discount, and you own it that day.
Yep.
So you already made 10% on your money. You made it that day. Now, if you're already if you're in a franchise right now and you're used to paying 5%, 6% off the top to your franchise, remember that money goes to the franchise owner. It's not going to you. Yep. It's not going to you. It's not going to me. It's going to them. So how nice is it that you can just pay yourself? So you can take that money and put it away, and that's just accumulating. So there's another way. And again, you've already made 10% of that money the day that you bought it. You own that stock.
That's great.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
So now we've got this great split. We've got company awarded stocks. We've got stocks you can purchase. We talked about the icon where you can get your money back. That's another revenue stream.
Yeah.
And then the final thing we have is what's called revenue share. So revenue share, very briefly, is just another opportunity. When you help the company grow, the company rewards you for that in a nutshell. So, we all, when you were recruited here, everybody's recruited to the company that they're at.
Sure.
You went to real estate school, you got recruited to that company.
Yep.
You changed from this company to that, you got recruited. Recruiting happens.
Yeah.
There's this whole
Well
misconception
said,
out
yes.
There's this whole misconception out there that we're a recruiting company. That's not the case. We're a production company first.
Yep.
Matter of fact, when it comes to revenue share here, only 10% of our agents even participate in that. That's it. Out of 88,000 agents. Think about what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So, but you can. And if you and I are really good friends and I love it over here and I say, Jason, you got to come check this company out. It's awesome, man. It's going to change your life.
Yep.
And you come over, I get rewarded for that. Which gets back to the whole culture part of this thing. When we're talking about when you win, I win, and we talk about being a broker owner, that's the second question. The first question I asked was, how many houses do you have to sell to get the money back that you paid them?
From another broker.
From another brokerage.
Yep.
The second question I ask is, how many houses do you have to sell to get ownership in the company that you work for?
Yeah. Can't.
Here, you're going to have to sell one.
Right.
You sell one house, you're a stockholder in this company.
Your own.
So this adds to the culture. This is what I'm talking about when we all win. We all want to help each other get better. We all push each other.
Yep.
So when it comes to the revenue share part of it, it's just, hey, if you help the company grow, we say thank you. We want you to participate in ownership in a company, and here you go. And that's it.
Right.
It's that simple.
Yep.
So now, aggressive comp plan, right? We got a great commission split. We have company awarded stocks you can buy, getting stocks back. You can get ownership in a company. That's 5 revenue streams just off the top of my head.
So great.
As opposed to being a transactional agent that's just going from deal to deal to deal. You got one way of getting paid.
Yeah.
Now you participate in all this.
Yes.
How's it affected your life?
Twofold. It's not only affected my life, but my family's life.
Yeah.
And that's been the amazing piece. When I saw that, and I got all the ideas just like everybody else, all recruiting and all that stuff. But it was the idea of helping others. And then it was giving back. And so as I've been able to do the things that I've done in the industry, now it's like, all right, cool, let me help those people to see these things. So it's helped me better understand things.
Yeah.
And it's helped me take my business to a different level because I can offer different things, whether it's that value to say, hey, whether it's coaching, whether it's a positive attitude, maybe a positive quote, just a lift. I always classify myself, I'm that cheerleader out there, but I'm here to be that ambassador of your brand.
Yeah.
If I could help your brand be better, isn't that great for you and your team? And it helps all of us.
Yeah.
So it's really got me thinking differently of how I want to run my real estate business. And then it's also given me an exit strategy a lot earlier than I even planned.
Yeah, but I love that you keep using the term real estate business, not real estate agent.
Yep.
Okay. So when you are around this and you have all these different opportunities, you're not running a business. So I always ask people when they get in, I'm like, I know, look, real estate agents, we work hard. It's a hard business. We know that. It's difficult. But I love it. It's the most rewarding thing that I've ever been a part of. But it's not easy. We know that.
Yeah.
So having these opportunities is huge. So I always ask agents, I'm like, I understand you're building a business, but are you building a legacy? Are you building something that is going to sustain? Are you building something that you leave for your kids? Because when we get in that revenue share part of it, you can will that down to your children. Yeah. So that becomes generational money, generational passive income. That's a big deal to me.
Yeah.
Stocks, you could pay, this is generational money. So it may not mean a lot to you now if you're thinking like a real estate agent, but if you were to open your mind and think about a real estate business and how much you could grow, how much you can expand, what you could be open to, what opportunities that you have, different directions that you have. You mean I can make money in more than one way than just selling a house? Yes, you can. So having those opportunities for me was a game changer. Yeah. That's why I came here. I wanted to build that legacy. It's important to me. So that's awesome, man.
Very cool.
So let's get into lead generation because a lot of people ask about that. Like, what do you guys have for lead gen? We have so much, but so our biggest platform for people to understand is KV Core,
Yeah.
right? So KV Core is
The
kind
CRM.
of it's our CRM, but
Yeah.
well, there's two pieces to it, right? So the front end of it's your website, which is kind of a lead generating machine for you, and then the backside of it's your CRM system. Now, a lot of people have to pay $400 or $500 a month for that. That's included in the $85 fee, which is killer. But
Yeah.
KV Core is insanely good.
It's so revolutionary.
Yeah.
And I've worked with the different CRMs, you know, and so to compare it to those, it's top tier because it's very user friendly. First off, I'm not the genius in the room, you know, it's one of those where, hey, I need to tweak this website. It's all plug and play.
Yeah.
You could go to my website and take a look at it, and it's virtually set up for me, and I've added a few things. I could always break that down to show you, hey, how easy it is. And then as months and years go by, you add to it.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done. I've tweaked it, so I've got my testimonies on there, and you know, you're getting all your clients giving you feedback. I've got my areas that I'm trying to, of my niche area. All that is now sectioned off in the website, so that way when people are going there, and again, it's going to tie in directly to your MLS.
Yes.
So whether in Delaware, Indiana, Texas, anywhere, it's going to tie into your MLS. So when people click on it, they'll see the pictures, the descriptions, but then it's going to go to your KV Core, your CRM, and then that's when I get a notification on the phone. Hey, Johnny is looking at this house at 123 Main Street in Carmel, Indiana for $1.2 million. All right, cool. Get on the horn and talk.
Yeah.
So that stuff I love. And to keep it simple, to be able to modify it, change my website, great. And on the other side, drip campaigns, you know, for emails.
Yeah.
We need to
Squeeze pages.
Squeeze pages,
Yeah.
landing pages, they're all there. The email campaigns are great because as I'm in production, I might be working with a client and I don't have time to send an email, the system's doing it. And I could start that from scratch, or there's already ones laid out in front of there.
Yeah.
So if you don't even know what to put, you could just use the basic and move on from there. And then again, as you adapt. And so that's usually better for newer agents. You know, some of the more experienced agents or maybe team leaders, they want, hey, let me put my own in there. Easy.
Yeah.
Plug and play, send it. You could put it on whether you want it in an hour, 2 days, 3 weeks, whatever, 3 months.
Yeah,
You
and
put the
that's
time on
It's
it.
critical. You talked about it before.
You're in control.
Yeah, you talked about that
Yeah.
before, though, about the time part of it, right? So much like you, I always focused on the income producing activities, meaning
Yes.
I could go sell houses and do deals.
We've got
When
it.
I came back, I'm terrible with paperwork. I need somebody to take care of that. I don't have time to do the marketing. I don't have that time. I need somebody else because my hair was always on fire, right? I'm a high D. Get me to the checkout line. I don't need the whole shopping trip.
Right on.
So, you know, having that back end system in place to do all that for you that's automated is awesome. Other opportunities for us, right? But the whole Revenos program, that platform, which is Relo. You have quick, what's it, the offers, express offers.
Express offers.
Yep. You have
REOs.
Think about the REOs. Think about the referral opportunities we have because we're in these masterminds every single weekend. Like we talked before, you're talking to hundreds of people on a weekly basis in these masterminds. If you take advantage of that, right?
Yep.
Why wouldn't you? But now you're talking to people across the country, across the world. So now think about what your referral opportunity is going to be. It's incredible. Luxury division, military division, commercial division.
Yes, yeah.
You know, we have everything, and at the international level.
Yep.
So to have, we talk about lead gen, and to have opportunities that are all in front of you, all you have to do is plug in.
Yep. I'll tell you this, the referral network has been amazing for my business as well. And it's because, just like you said, I'm plugging into these masterminds, the virtual classrooms through eXp World, and I'm seeing names. I'm getting to know people, whether they're on stage or in the audience, or collaborating in the mastermind. Yep. I'm getting to know these people, and then when we're hitting these conventions and doing eXp Con and this and that, then I get to meet them in person, give them a hug, and then we're just talking business. We're sitting down, having a drink, having lunch, whatever, and let's talk business. And then all of a sudden, I got a referral for Delaware. Let me call Frank, you know, and then in turn, it's going to come back.
So that's a big deal, though, because we talked about it before, about, you know, how do you market your business now? Now that you know that we have no walls.
I love it.
And, there's something else I wanted to talk about when we were talking about the compensation package. You know, we have one cap here. So if you're licensed in multiple states, you're only paying one cap. You're not paying a cap in every state. So think about what that does. It's massive.
Yeah.
It's massive because we're one broker. So that is, I mean, it's a big deal. And then in a traditional model, traditional brokerage model, if you're doing referrals and reload, there's usually a third-party company that you have to get involved. You got to pay them a huge referral fee, and then you have your split on top of that. Right. You're really not making any money. Not only that, but you don't have any connection to the transaction. So, you know, if my cousin Vinny is going to come to Indiana, I'm going to call you directly. I don't need to go through a third party and say, just take care of my cousin for me, right? No, you're not going to work out a referral. You can keep me up to speed on everything. It's a much more comfortable transaction for me. I feel like I have a little bit of control and that I'm involved in it. That's important because that gets back to your level of service. It gets back to what you're talking about, right? And we're also talking about your marketing strategy. When somebody comes to you and says, man, if you just knew somebody in Delaware, if you were licensed in Delaware, I would have given you this deal. You can now say, I do. You know, and I have somebody in every state. That's not hard. I can help you move anywhere in the state you want. I'm your go-to. I'm one-stop shopping. So to be able to offer that service and to market your way, market yourself in that way is huge for your lead gen. It just is. Which takes me to the next piece, branding.
Yes.
Right?
Before you get to branding, I wanted to go back because something that's really enhanced my referral business, and because we're so tech-driven with that leadership that we've talked about already, we have a quick app to send it, a referral agreement, boom, right to you. So when it's internal like that, that was a game changer because within seconds on Workplace, somebody's looking and saying, hey, I've got a referral in Indiana. Great, I respond, we have a quick phone call, they send me the agreement immediately. I sign it, they sign it, all digitally, goes to our managing brokers, they sign off. In minutes, I've got all the information I need to get in touch with them. I've got the referral agreement in my hand. That is such a game changer, and it's so easy. I love easy because I could do it on my phone.
That's right.
If I'm, you know, with a client, I'm done with the client, cool.
You know, you talked about Workplace again, and I don't know that we talk about that enough and the value of it.
It's a huge value.
So Workplace was built for us by Facebook. It's our internal way of speaking to each other. The amount of lead opportunities just on that, when you have 88,000+ people plugging into this system and saying, I need this, does anybody know this, how do I do? When we're all talking to each other and you plug into that, it's an amazing resource for us. It really is.
And it's really cool. And I'm going to tie it back into the brand because on there, you could put your brand.
Sure.
You know, if you go and research Jason Justak, I've got my World Title Real Estate brand on my banner. You know, and that's what eXp allows us. So I know you wanted to mention the branding. Talk a little bit about that.
You just touched on it. What's the name of your company?
World Title Real Estate.
World Titled World.
World Title.
Not Indiana Title Real Estate.
No.
World. Okay. That's not something to gloss over. That's branding. And I think it's important because we have brokerages and teams and individuals, as I said before, they come to us every single day, every day. One of their main concerns is, well, I've built this whole business, especially brokerages that come over. I built this whole business, I built my brand, and now I have to give that up. No, you don't. That's your brand. It's your logo. It's your business. You don't have to do anything. All you're going to do is come onto our platform. You keep doing what you're doing. Brokered by, powered by eXp, which is a big deal. And if any brokers out there that are going to be talking to Jason, the beautiful thing for you is all the liability is gone. If you're a brokerage and you come over to our platform, we have our own legal department. We take care of all the liability. We take care of all the broker issues. You just come over and do the stuff that you love to do, which was, I loved helping people. I love training people. I love coaching people. Well, guess what? When you're a broker owner, you're the plumber, you're the accountant, you're the marketing guy, you have 15 different hats. Where you can just go back to doing what you love doing and you're still running your company. So maintaining your brand, the brand that you've worked so hard on, the brand that you've built, the way people identify with you, you don't give that up. You keep that. All we're going to do is enhance it and make it even bigger. World Title Real Estate.
Love it.
Right?
It
World.
Yes.
Love
yes.
It.
So the brand is huge because people want to buy houses with me, sell houses with me. Same with you in Delaware. So eXp saw that. And that's where they started it and was the trendsetter
Yeah.
to say it's about the brand, not about the brokerage.
That's right.
And now we're allowed to do that. And what was cool, because as I broke off the team back in 2020, that's when I started World Title Real Estate. And for me, it was a creative piece. And now I got to create it and be and live it. And now I get to branch out and I make my clients into home buying champions. You know, they're holding up the championship belt when they close.
Yeah, that's cool. I've seen that, by the way.
And then even when other agents are coming on, they're becoming a part of our group, which we call the champions. Who doesn't want to become a champion in their real estate business? You know, so how can we enhance that? How can we get you to the next level? That's what we want to do, and see what answers we could provide for you.
So let's get back to agent-centric. Agent-centric, you have 24/7 availability to all our people and all our resources. Agent-centric, you get an opportunity to own a piece of the company. Agent-centric, they give you stock for doing what you're already doing. Agent-centric, you get to keep your brand and your identity. We don't want you to change anything. You tell me who's agent-centric.
Right.
You tell me who can step up and do that. Agent-centric, 50% of every dollar that comes in this company goes back to the agents in the form of revenue share. It's given back to them.
Awesome.
The founder can keep it.
He could.
Does not.
Right.
Which gets back to the whole virtual thing, so people understand the reason why we don't have brick and mortar is for that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, and I don't know about you out there. I would rather have 50% of the money coming back to me than offices across the country that I'll never step foot in.
I agree.
I'm just saying.
I agree.
That's why he does it that way, so that we can all enjoy the fruits of the labor of the company. And when you get that stock, it's not just eXp, like you said before, it's eXp. It's all of our companies.
Yep.
That's agent-centric. When you talk about building a whole model that all of us can prosper off of, not just one aspect, the entire model, nobody can touch that.
Nobody can. And real fast, Frank, too, you talked about that brick and mortar.
Yeah.
The reason behind it was to give that money back to the agents.
Yes.
So smart, so intelligent. Again, nobody else is doing that. Looking at it from your eyes may be different from my eyes, because I know some other broker owners that want an office.
Sure.
We don't frown upon it. You could go and rent an office. You could go buy an office. And you know what? eXp actually offers shared office space through Regis offices, right? So what a cool partnership. And that's included in the $85 a month.
Yeah.
So it's those things. It's looking at the big piece of the puzzle, or big piece of the pie. Let me say it that way. It's there.
Sure.
And being a broker owner within eXp, I can go any direction I want. If I want to work out an office at home, I can. If I want to go and build a building and put an office in there, cool. If I want to work out of Regis, I can. If I want to work out of a beautiful model home, I can.
Yeah.
So that stuff has definitely leveraged my business.
Sure.
And it's definitely given me different insight of where we're going to go in the real estate world.
Yeah, and I think, a couple of things. Not only the brick and mortar puts some money back in our pocket, it also takes money and lets them invest in the technology that we have. That's why our technology is so off the charts, because we have the money to do it. Yes, there are offices all across the country. People have their offices, not a big deal. But I think COVID changed a lot. I think it opened a lot of people's eyes. So if you look at a lot of real estate companies now that had a bunch of offices, you see a lot of people starting to, they're compressing, right? They're getting rid of offices, they're merging offices together. There's a reason why. He said overhead's killing them.
Yep.
Like we talked about before, go into an office on a Friday, there's nobody there.
Right.
Why would you pay for that?
Yep.
Now, if you want to do that, great. We don't see a need to do it. It doesn't make sense. We are a massive, massive company in production. We're number one in units year over year, number one in volume year over year in the industry. Yep. So clearly, that proves that offices are not necessary. But if you want to, go do it.
Yep.
Our corporate office is a virtual office, but everybody has access to it anywhere in the world at any time. What more could you ask for?
Yep.
So that's kind of why we do it that way. Hey, I enjoyed spending this time with you today, and hopefully people have their questions. But how do they find you, Jason? If they want to learn more about eXp, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Give me a call, 317-763-0110. Text message is always great. You could find me on all social media platforms as well. Let's just connect. Whatever works for you will work for me.